It seems like the solar industry can do whatever they want to and nobody's saying anything about it.
An attempt to cut down on energy bills turned into a financial nightmare for a local man. He messaged Megan saying he feels duped and out of options.
Our consumer investigator joins us now to explain what happened. Megan.
Complicated stuff. Our state's Bureau of Consumer Protection received 87 complaints back in 2020 about solar companies. This year, they've received 227 complaints. That's a 160% increase in complaints over just 4 years. And as the industry grows in our area, consumers need to know the red flags to look out for.
We got a knock on our door. It's probably mid-December.
Solar panels cover this Beaver Falls home, but Larry Minetti says he'd do anything to give them all back.
Yeah, I'm left hanging, but I don't want this to happen to somebody else.
Larry feels victimized by predatory sales tactics and says he signed on the dotted line for something at the end of the day he can't afford.
It's like they presented everything on a tablet, and once you signed it, all they did was flip to the next page and you just hit, all you had to do was touch the screen and it put your signature there. You never had time to like physically read the entire agreement.
He tells KDKA he thought he agreed to 20 years of affordable payments with Palmetto Solar, but later learned he really agreed to what's called a balloon payment with Palmetto Solar's lender at the time, Sunlight Financial.
So then they put this clause in the contract about the voluntary payment, and if you don't make that voluntary $18,000 payment, my solar panel payment doubles from like $370 to almost $570.
KDKA Investigates contacted Palmetto Solar to question the sales tactics Larry claims happened at his front door. Palmetto Solar said the salespeople who dealt with Larry worked for a third-party sales partner called Lifestyle Marketing. Palmetto Solar said, quote, "In this case, a deal structure error was made that should never have been presented." And Palmetto Solar added, "We apologize to Mr. Minetti for what appears to be a subpar experience in this instance. As part of our standard operating procedure, we communicated directly with the customer and have now fully resolved this issue."
Many people miss this, and the products are set up so that this information is actively concealed from borrowers.
Diane Thompson with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says a rise in solar complaints led the Bureau to release a nationwide consumer advisory on predatory solar lending. The Bureau found 4 areas of risk for consumers.
The first are hidden markup fees. And so those are the cases where the panel installer is working in cahoots with a lender. And so they agree to give the lender a kickback, often as much as 30%.
Thompson said they'll also mislead the customer as to what they'll actually pay, often promising a federal tax credit that'll cover upfront costs. But Larry learned the hard way, not everyone qualifies.
It's a tax credit, so it's based on your income. It would take me 5 years to come up with the $18,000 through the government, not 18 months.
And when it comes to those ballooning monthly payments,
anytime you rely on the person who's selling you a good or a service to also arrange your financing, that's a red flag right there. You will almost always pay more in those circumstances.
See, they don't tell you enough information either.
Thompson said consumers who find themselves in this type of deal and want to get out should act fast before the payment balloons.
Probably the easiest way is to go to a local financial institution, a bricks and mortar bank, savings and loan in their community, and see if they can get a home equity loan or line of credit and refinance the whole thing.
Palmetto Solar tells KDKA Investigates it's since changed its financial lending process, successfully serving more than 30,000 clients over the past 15 years.
Being my age, I just don't want to see somebody else taken advantage of. I mean, anybody's age, but when you're on a fixed income, it's hard.
So now that we know what not to do, here's what to do. Do refuse to sign anything without getting time to compare offerings among different contractors and different lenders. Do get your financing separate from the person who is selling you the product or service, and do get copies of anything you are signing.
Yeah, good to know before you get involved.